roads, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, welcome back to Transport Fever 2 and the Land of the Free. Right now we're just having a little dip in the water just outside of New York City, and we can see New York, Jersey City and Brooklyn there dominating the rapidly expanding skyline in this little area of the map. We can also see the comings and goings of various rail lines that we've ran through here in recent episodes, including the freight lines. We also have our passenger line, which in the last episode we added to include an express service that is now fully functional and is running quite nicely. It is not yet turning a profit, but that's fine. We do have plenty of other lines that are making us enough money that we can afford to be a little bit indulgent, and if the line doesn't make us as much money as we'd hoped it would, then it's not the end of the world. But hey, we have an express service now. There we can see, I believe that's one of the steel trains, and that would be, is that planks on the heading the opposite direction? I believe it is, and they are running quite nicely, making us a steady but not an obscene amount of money. So they're just ticking along nicely, just keeping us going as we progress ever onwards. So let's open the user interface. $2.5 billion with a cash flow hovering around 50 million. So things are looking pretty good. So here we can see the sprawling suburbs of Brooklyn, Jersey City, Manhattan and Queens. And today I'd like to focus on Brooklyn. We're already supplying fuel and food to one extent or another into Brooklyn, but there is a reasonable demand for machinery, and I think that's what we want to turn our attention to today. Now we do have this machinery factory right here, which we have already set up and is churning out machines nicely. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little road delivery route that runs along this road here, uses this little road before delivering into Brooklyn. That is a very straightforward, should be very simple task to achieve. So the first thing we need to decide is whereabouts in Brooklyn itself we're going to drop the machinery, and I'm going to say we'll do it just there. I mean, we probably could use this station here, however I'd like to avoid doing that just so we don't cause too much of a tailback and traffic when the vehicles are there to unload. There's not a big queue. And then over by the machinery factory we're going to need a truck station so the trucks can be loaded, and if we pop that just there, that's going to be a pretty decent enough position for that. And we'll just bump up the cargo capacity a little like so, and we are going to include a second street access point on this one, and that will look a little bit like that. We don't need any traffic lights there. What we are going to need are some waypoints, and that's just so we can make sure the trucks are looping around nicely. So a new line then. So we want to go from here. We'll have them just stay as default. Machinery, I would say, is perhaps that sort of silver colour there, and you are coming into here. So you've used this road here, which is great. That's the most direct and logical route for you. But when you get here, you are turning around there. But if we do that, then you won't be. and everybody will be happy. And we'll just use that waypoint after the station here as well, just to ensure that they do carry on heading out that way, which I think they would do, but now it's all but confirmed. So let's just do the usual naming system here. So this will be our new Queen's Machinery Factory, and then the line itself will be Queen's Machinery Delivery. No, it's Brooklyn. We're going to Brooklyn. There we go. Brooklyn Machinery Delivery. Perfect. The only thing we are going to do here is just ensure that it is machines they are picking up. Not that they could pick up much else there, of course, but why the heck not? Depot. Where is the depot? That's a good question. I thought I saw one a moment ago. Perhaps I didn't. Ah, we have one here. We may as well just use that one, save putting another in. And we're going to use the tarpaulin truck, the Opel Blitz tarpaulin truck. And I'm going to go ahead and say we'll have 8. So we'll set the maintenance to very high, give them a appropriate colour scheme, and assign them to the line. So at this point we should now see machines being produced over here. We have plenty of stored planks and steel, so it shouldn't take long for them to be produced and moved over to the truck station. And here we go, we can see the first pallets of machinery being placed on the truck station platform for collection in the near future. It shouldn't take the trucks too long to get out here. In fact, there's the first one there, so we're getting close. The other thing we want to do, or try and do, is to have some tools brought down here into Brooklyn as well. Now there is a tool factory over by Philadelphia, and I believe this is the one here that we are going to utilize for this. And my current plan is to have a line that runs from our cargo line here into a station here, and that is how the tools themselves will be brought on through, because we can come all the way down here. This might be a little bit busy, so we might need to look into the possibility of having quad tracks down here, but we can cross that bridge when we come to it. The other thing we need to handle is the delivery of some planks into the tool factory. Now we should have, yes, we have planks being produced here, as we can see. And again, we already have a station set up here. So I think all we're going to need to do at this end is perhaps have another platform here, so we can load the planks without getting in the way of anything else. And then we're just going to follow the existing tracks. As I said, perhaps looking at quad tracking some of this, just to alleviate any potential hold-ups with trains coming and going. And then in terms of new infrastructure, we should be pretty okay. There shouldn't be too much required of us. So the first machines are there, as we saw earlier. We've got 9 at the moment. I believe these have they have a capacity of 12. So they may wait around a little while as they get up and running, but once things bed in, that should be fairly straightforwards. Okay, so let's head to this station here, the Trenton Sawmill, and let's see if we can't expand this. So we're going to want another platform, like so. This train here, that is an old train. It's got itself all sorts of confused. What the heck, you can go with a partial load. In fact, we may as well upgrade this. What are you using? Is that the Atlantic? It is. Let's give you a Mikado instead, so you had a nice boost to your power, as we can see. And I dare say we can get away with chucking on perhaps an extra 1 or 2 flat cars as well. There we go. Nothing too extravagant, but we may as well. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do now that the new platform is in position is just smooth off the terrain. There we go. Just a little touch up, nothing too dramatic. And then we're going to get this new platform connected in to our network. Right. So do we want this to now be quad tracked? How busy are you? Right, there are already 2 lines running down here. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's probably not a bad idea to quad track this at this point, because if we can take any steps possible to avoid having our trains sat on top of one another, then we may as well do that. Want to keep things flowing as freely as we possibly can. Right, so at this point this is triple tracked. And what directions are we? Yeah, okay. So I think what we're going to do here is have this join in as it ordinarily would, like that. And like that. So they're going to come in onto these lines here. From there they're just going to pass straight through this station on this line, forwards and back. And then they're going to head out here. And do we then want to increase the amount of tracks down here? I don't think we're going to need to. This one might be a little busy, so we might want to add a 4th track down here, but we could easily share either of these 2 lines on the return. What we do need to do is have this leave this line, because we want to head up to this factory here to get the tools. So let's have a look. So I think we'll separate off at this point here. In fact, now what we will do is we will have this new line to the tool factory running on a dedicated track. Right, so where does everything come together? So here is the diamond. So if we come off after the diamond, like that. So this is going to be the line that is bringing the planks to the tool factory. And we do want this to branch away. And what we also want is a line that is coming from that factory coming into either of these 2. I don't think it's going to matter which we use, so we may as well go for the nearest, like that. How does that look? It's not bad. There, that's a little bit better. So yes, like that. And then what we want to do is have this head straight up. We need to go over the river. We also need to cross passenger lines, ideally without actually touching the passenger lines. And we need to get into a station up here. So let's have a look. So we need the station first, which is fine, we can do that. In fact, let's see. Now, what we need to be mindful of here is whether this track is going to be high enough with this terrain height to easily cross over this passenger line. Let us see. So if we keep you level, no, you're not going to be high enough there, so we need you to go up. So we're immediately into an inclined gradient, but we shouldn't need much more than this, and I think we might be okay at this sort of height. Yeah, there we go, look, we've got the bridge. Of course, we want to change that style for the new high-speed bridge, or the 75 miles per hour bridge. Wonderful. So we've managed to clear the passenger line without too much drama, and given that we're about to hop over the river, we may as well have an elongated bridge for all of this, because there's no point going down to come back up again. Right, which way are we headed? Yep, that's pretty good. And now that we're over there, we can have it just fall back down to ground level, and we'll do it over a nice long distance, so the tracks aren't as steep as they may ordinarily be, like so. So we've got a more gentle and gradual approach to the bridge. Right, where's our line? There it is. Let's see, if you're 75 miles per hour, I'm going to be happy. Yes, you are. So same with you there. Great. Now the one thing we might need here, well, the one thing we're going to need here is, of course, a diamond. And what we're also likely to need is a stabling line. Okay, so that diamond is a little bit funny, so let's just try that again. There we go. So yes, we may also need some sort of stabling track. Can we branch off before the bridge? Oh, it's very slow, but if it gives us a tidy bridge, which it... Oh, that's unfortunate. Yes. Okay. Let's just see if we can push that diamond back the ways a little. Let's try that there. There we go. And now let's see if we get a tidier bridge. Yes, that's better. That's what we want. So we're not going to rejoin on the bridge. So we're going to have a long stable here. There we go. And then on this gradient is where we'll have it come in and separate like that. There we go. Okay, so I think we should be in a position to go ahead. However, we're going to need to do some signal work. So I'll take care of the signal work now, and we'll pick it back up in just a few moments' time. Okay, so that's all the signals put in. So the first line we're going to set up is the one hauling over the planks. So we want to go from here, and we want you on platform 4. And over here we are going to use the full load orders, and you are coming out this way. So that's all fine. And going this way, and then this way, and at this point, in fact no, because we need to make sure you use the stabling track. So you're coming in via the outer track there, in, and then back out, all the way back down. Let's see what you're doing here. Yep, that's fine. What? No, we want you on this one here, so after Philadelphia West, which we shall rename, we want you to go that way. There we go. And yep, you're using the new track there, obviously, and in there. So let's just rename Philadelphia West to Philadelphia Tools. And the line itself will be rail cargo planks. No, sorry. Trenton to Philly planks freight. Perfect. So let's go ahead and purchase the train for this. So all the way back to Worcester. Buy vehicles, locomotives. Which one do we want? Well, we're not going to need the Class 9000 for this. That's just overkill. Maybe the Mikado is going to be good enough. I dare say it will. Cargo, we want the flat car. What does that do? Yep, that'll be fine. And I say we'll have 2 of those. So now let's head all the way back over here. Trenton to Philly planks freight. And there we go. Now this should have plenty of lumber, as we can see, and we've got a massive queue to pick up more. What we could do is very quickly just upgrade these streets here to be ever so slightly faster, like that. Give them that more modern look, and what the heck, may as well upgrade that one as well. Okay, so the other line we then need will be the line delivering the tools down here. Now, do we have any unspoken platforms? Yes, we do. This one here, so that's okay. How are we in terms of capacity? Ah, yes, we're pretty busy on this line. So I think what we'll do is we'll set up the tool delivery in the next episode, because we might want to look at expanding these tracks here because we're getting pretty crowded. I mean, the frequency isn't too high. As we can see, there's not lots thundering down here at any one time. But of course, the more we add on, the more likely that is to become a problem. So before we go, let's just check on Brooklyn. So we're getting the tools, which is... Sorry, we're getting the machinery, which is good to see. 34 of 67. How are we at the platform? Not bad. We have 16. Our trucks are spacing themselves out gradually over time, which is also good to see. And everything is looking pretty good. Let's take a final look at our line statistics before we leave. And what we'll do, we'll just pause it so we can see it without them jumping around. So, oh, look at this. The Amtrak Northeast, the express line we set up, is now proving quite popular. We're already almost at capacity, and it's making us a nice profit. Our upgraded Amtrak Northeast stopping service is also still making us profit, although we're not quite at capacity, as we can see right there. As always, the fuel train is making us a tidy little sum indeed, as is the Hartford Brickworks stone shunt, as we can see right here as well. Down at the bottom of the list, tools freight. I think overall this, yeah, that's not a great line, so we might want to investigate that at some point. And this one, that's fine, it's just in one of its slow years, and that's a pretty poor service as well, so maybe we need to look at this line here. That's just been set up, so we can disregard that one. Worcester planks, you're okay. And the crude shunt, yeah, you're okay, because you're feeding into this line, which, as we can see, is making us an absolute mint. In terms of the road lines, So all these are making a loss, but I mean, we might want to actually start looking at some of these. I'm not sure why these are all zeros. They should be picking something up. Or maybe they're just waiting for the delivery over here. That could be the problem. It could be the frequency of... yeah, it could be these lines here. So it's having a knock-on effect on anything else that follows after it. Where are you? Okay, and what's slowing you down? Do we need to bump up how much grain is coming in here, perhaps? I shouldn't say so. Well, I think overall we're doing pretty well. I mean, 2.5 billion, 75 million give or take cash flow, so there's nothing that drastically needs our urgent attention right now. Okay, so that's it for today. What we're going to do for our little cab ride is we're going to wait for this little guy here to pick up a load of machines, and then we're going to hop in the cab of this road vehicle and get to experience the skyline of Brooklyn from ground level. So what we'll do, we'll just give him a few minutes to get into the truck station and pick up, and then we shall hop on board. And here we go, we're just leaving the truck station now with a full load of machinery for delivery into Brooklyn. So I hope you've enjoyed the episode and you'll continue to enjoy this series. I see we're now over that 900 subscriber milestone, which is absolutely fantastic, and I want to give a big thank you to you all for helping me hit and exceed that little milestone. So thank you very much to all of you for that. It's nice to see the engagement, which is reassuring, and it does provide that extra boost when it comes to making the videos as well, so thank you very much indeed. For now, all that remains for me to say, though, ladies and gentlemen, is as always, take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.